Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're so glad to welcome you as part of our community tonight. Please note that this webinar is being recorded and distributed live stream. By entering this virtual meeting room, you give your consent to be recorded and distributed by Vienna Live Rossini Moro and other third parties. If you prefer to not be recorded, please turn off your camera and microphone and/or go to the Facebook Live video feed, the link to which I'll now place in the chat room. For a better experience, please turn off your microphone and set your video to gallery view. This show thrives on participant contributions, and all participants are encouraged to actively participate in this webinar by asking questions and making comments. To do so, please either write in the chat room, raise your hand, or turn on your microphone to say hi, and I will be delighted to include your perspective in the conversation. Tonight, our featured guests are Kaisa Makkonen, a soprano, Maya Teikari, a pianist, Kieko Okabe-Silvasti, a soprano, Niels Moos, a conductor and director of the Opera Master Program at the Music and Arts University of the City of Vienna, who is seated to my left, Mari Tinkunen, an occupational therapist, and Michael Pinkerton, a stage director. Also joining us tonight is Dr. Lino Rivera, professor of music at St. Mary's College, California.
Every time you hold my hand, my heart says I'm safe with you. And every time I see your eyes, I know here I'm supposed to be. What I feel, this is real, no lies. Can't you see, I can live if we aren't together. Your hands, your touch is making me want you more. Your look, your eyes, I don't wanna let you go. I don't wanna let you go. I don't wanna let you go.
Kaisa, welcome.
Hi, I am Kaisa Makkonen, opera singer and stroke survivor. I was studying for master's degree in opera singing in Vienna. I mastered the degree in 2017. Then I moved back to Finland, Savonlinna. I miss Vienna a lot. And I am living in Savonlinna, eastern Finland. It is a famous summer city, opera city. In the video, you saw our beautiful castle and Olavinlinna, which is the stage of opera festival every summer. First, my songs composed by me and also lyrics.
What a beautiful song. Thank you very much, and a beautiful voice. Thank you for sharing it, and also beautiful castle at Savonlinna. So I would like to welcome Niels Moos, my colleague to my left. Welcome, Niels.
Hello, everyone. It's wonderful to be here. Of course, it's wonderful to see Kaisa again. That has a very special place in our hearts and has a special place in the history of our institution. And to see how well you are, how wonderful you sing. And I'm also, I must say, looking very much forward to see Michael Pinkerton.
So Niels, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do and how you met Kaisa?
Yes, I was engaged in the university actually by my wonderful predecessor, Michael Pinkerton, who is here tonight also. And at that time, we had a very big project together, and we did together the big opera by Rossini, Il Viaggio a Reims, where Kaisa was also singing. And yes, then the story was one day she didn't show up for the rehearsals for some very good reasons. And I think Kaisa shall maybe tell about all that herself.
Okay, so let's go back, take a step back and ask Kaisa, how did you get into singing? So tell us about that, and you sing so beautifully. How did that all come about?
I've been dancing and singing throughout my life, with starting with pop and jazz. As a child, I got to know opera in our castle. Didn't know much about opera music at all. Then I decided to start studying classical singing at Savonlinna School of Music and Arts. After that, I continued my studies in Turku, and I was singing at Savonlinna Opera Choir many summers. I finished my studies Turku, and I moved to Vienna and continue my studies at Privatuniversität der Stadt Wien. I had very promising career just beginning. I had agents and many chances to succeed. And suddenly I had stroke caused by Takayasu rheumatic disease, which led to paralysis on my right side and completely lost my speech. Understood everything that was said to me, couldn't respond. Deep down, I knew I could sing. My singing skills were intact. I could read notes and study new arias and songs that gave me hope and strength. That's when I decided to recover no matter what it took. Now I sing and produce concerts as a freelancer.
Okay, fantastic. So may I ask Kaisa, I know that also you were there with Maya Tekari. Can we maybe say hi to Maya quickly?
Hello, nice
Hi,
to meet
Maya.
you.
Nice
Hi.
to meet you too. Can you
Yes.
tell us a little bit about yourself and how you met Kaisa?
Yes, definitely. It's nice to be joining such wonderful company all around Europe. I work as a collaborative pianist and as a piano teacher at a music school here in Savonlinna, and as a freelance musician in many ensembles. And I kind of knew who Kaisa was from when she was at the local high school for music and arts, but I really got to know her better when after she returned to Finland after her stroke. And since then we have had many concerts and gigs together, and I have helped her out in rehearsing repertoire. And Kaisa is truly an inspiring person. She has such amazing willpower, and she's a positive spirit and a very warm-hearted person. And she also has a killer sense of humor.
Okay, fantastic, fantastic. So before we get to the humor, how about I know that you and Kaisa have prepared two different songs for us to hear. Can we hear you and Kaisa sing and you play something?
Yes, definitely. Shall we play the first one of them?
Please.
Yes, we'd love to do that.
Thank you. Wow, lovely. So Niels, hearing Kaisa perform like that after knowing her, what do you feel? What are your thoughts?
No, of course, I think you're a fantastic Kaisa, and as I always say, you're the real Finnish Sisu, if anyone is. Yes, and
Thank you.
I remember after everything happened, and when you came again, and we sat down there and talked, what shall we do? And you said, I can sing in German, I can sing in Italian, but I cannot say anything in Finnish. I forgot my own language.
Yeah.
And I remember we sat down a whole year together, and every week we did some Finnish song, singing, just to see if it came back this way. And of course, it has been an enormous, what shall we say, road for you to go through all this. And it is really fantastic. And I'm so happy to see that where you are today. I'm so happy to follow you on Facebook and see how well you're doing. And what a wonderful representative you is for you, for yourself, for your country, and also for a person who has had such difficulties. I really take my hat off.
Thank you.
And
Thank
I'm
you.
very proud and grateful that we have met in our lives.
Me too.
Okay, so let's go on to our first roundtable. What makes a great singer? So how about we start with Kaisa?
Great singer, amazing singer, acting, motion and fire, and passion, yeah, I like type voices, and also charisma, and maybe Maria Callas, Reni, maybe. What you think? What you think?
Okay, let's, yeah, Neil's response?
No, I think Kaisa is saying many things. I think we should also hear what Michael has to say about these things.
Unfortunately, Michael has not arrived at the moment yet, so we're going to
Okay.
have to continue without him.
Okay.
So maybe you can fill in.
Yes, of course. A singer's life is something very, very difficult, and we all should all have respect for all these people who want to choose this way. Of course, I have responsibility for a lot of young people who decide this way, and it is a very hard work.
Yes.
And often it's a very unpleasant work. It's wow, with many with many difficulties and so. But of course, we all have the music, and we know when it really works, it is the most wonderful thing you can do in life. And we are very grateful to have such wonderful people who sing and we can make music with, and they are really a kind of what shall we say? They're kind of God's voice goes through them.
Wow. Okay. Mari, maybe Maika, maybe you can, Maia, excuse me, maybe you can come in and tell us a little bit your thoughts.
I joined Kaisa side by side, just like you.
Perfect.
About great singers.
Sure. And what does that mean?
Well, I have to agree with Kaisa as well. One of my all-time favorites is, besides Kaisa, of course, is the great Finnish bass Martti Talvela. I thought he was amazing. A real bass powerhouse and such a deeply musical singing and amazing voice. He was awesome.
Wow.
Absolutely. No, we should also not forget that Finland has a very important singing tradition.
Yeah.
And there has been not only one in a generation, but many singers from Finland that has really dominated the world of opera. Of course, especially the male singers have been very, very dominant. And it is a tradition and a very important part of the opera life.
Okay. So thank you very much. Let's now take a look at Kaisa's singing from her years studying with Niels and others in Vienna. So this is her singing the aria of Despina from Mozart's Così fan tutte. Fantastic. Well, Niels, maybe can you tell us a little bit about this opera and about putting it together? I don't know if you were part of that production.
No, it was actually the year before I came to the university. I saw the production, and it is in the time of where Michael Pinkerton was leading the program, and I think it's very, very nice to hear and to see you there. I don't remember that you were singing there, but because I didn't know any one of you at that time, I was just, a visitor. But it's wonderful to see, and it's wonderful to see your very natural stage presence also.
Yeah. Niels, can you tell us a little bit what's happening also in that aria? Tell us, I know that this Così fan tutte, it has a kind of strange background that people don't know about this thing, about the why all of those women are there together. Is that what's happening?
Oh, of course, it's a typical Mozart opera written together with the librettist da Ponte, and Despina is a girl that has some experience, and she tells the two other women, you can have that, and you can have that, and you can have all these men, and you should take them as long as you can have them.
Yes.
It is very, very funny and intelligent written. Eh? It is, every word is gold in this opera, like it is in Nozze di Figaro and Don Giovanni, but there are so many secondary meanings also in every phrase, and of course that is. The two other women, they say, no, we will never betray our lovers. We will never betray. And the first thing they do is that they betray their lovers.
Tell us about Kaisa in that role. And like you said, that stage presence, what's important for a singer singing that role? You were a casting director, I believe, at the Volkshofer.
Yeah.
What is it that you're looking for in a singer when you're casting that kind of role? And what kind of roles do you see Kaisa performing well?
It is hard to say, but when I see this, of course, you need humor. You need a smile behind everything. You need to be able to move freely. Kaisa has also, let me say it, so a natural, without being vulgar, a natural sex appeal. And I think it's very nice to see. It is we are always looking for many components for a part or for being an opera singer. It's like a total package we look for. It's not only singing, it's also what you said, charisma. It's your acting skills, is who you are. And very nice, Kaisa.
Wonderful. And as we'll see later, Kaisa, like her website declares, she's dedicated her life to music. So congratulations, Kaisa. Clearly you are getting a lot done. You are really, really making a lot of progress with your career, with your singing, and really inspiring all of us. So that's very good. So now I would like to introduce a very special guest, Mari Tinkunen, an occupational therapist. And Marie, so we will take a kind of talk more about this Marie meeting Kaisa and exactly what they've done together. I believe that they just did a TED talk together about more or less Kaisa's overcoming this stroke through music and through clearly a lot of perseverance and will. And so now we'll get to see kind of a different side about a little bit how music therapy, how this can help. And so Mari, welcome.
Hi, thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us how you met Kaisa?
I'm occupational therapist Mari Tynkkynen. I'm helping Kaisa to get her paralytic side of her body to work again. And we have met because I'm using the Vasa concept rehabilitation. And the Vasa concept teaches paralyzed limbs to understand gravity again and to react to it. react to it. And a switch from conventional therapy to Vasa concept has given a totally new opportunity for Kaisa and totally new way to recover. And if you are interested to see that, we have made a video from Kaisa's progress in YouTube. It's Kaisa Makkonen's story, but we made that in 2020, so maybe we need to do a second one. But
So tell
that's
us,
from the first years.
and so tell us about exactly what that means and what your other patients are like. I imagine they're not like Kaisa maybe at all. I mean, what is it that an occupational therapist does?
Well, because I'm using the Vasa concept, we are doing exercises that helps brain to understand gravity. So we are mainly at the floor and we are teaching the brain. So Kaisa is laying on the thoracic side of the body, and that's why the brain are constantly learning to do. So we are all the time in different postures.
Extraordinary. And
Yeah,
so for
and
you also, has this been a big learning experience? I imagine you're
of
kind
course,
of you're at the
because
forefront of everything that's happening. This is all seems to be very, very new.
yeah, and Kaisa is the one who is doing all the home exercises. So of course I'm seeing more results with Kaisa than with someone else.
Extraordinary. Okay.
May I
Yeah,
say something
Please,
here?
please.
Of course, I know Kaisa from when she came out of hospital and came back, and the progress she has made is enormous. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So also, I know that we have some medical professionals here in the audience. If they would like to talk about and join our next roundtable, they're very welcome to. The roundtable is, what is a stroke and how did Kaisa overcome it? So if any of the medical professionals would like to join, they are very, very welcome. They just have to unmute and then join the conversation. So Kaisa, maybe you can take it away and you can give the first thoughts to this roundtable. What is a stroke and how did Kaisa overcome it?
Stroke. I was lost before met Mari. I fought my life back with exercising and the power of singing. My secret weapon is Finnish singing. Lots of practice and repeat, learning by heart.
Okay. And so we have a medical professional who would like to say something about what a stroke is, please.
Sure. Good evening, everyone. I'm pleased to meet you all, and congratulations to the young lady, Kaisa, who has done obviously extremely well, and especially to the help received by this young lady here, Marie. So I have to admit, I'm having a little trouble understanding some of your accents, but I get the gist without any problem. A stroke usually means a blockage of a blood vessel to a certain area of the brain. In past days, I would have a model here I could show you, but I've been retired for such a long time. I just love relaxing, looking out to my right here at the lake and going for walks, and the dog is someplace resting. But the stroke can be due to a blood vessel which blocks, to an embolus which breaks off from someplace in your leg or your arm or in another blood vessel and lodges up in the brain. And if you look at this and call this a blood vessel, and there's something coming up in it and it gets to a point where it's too narrow, it blocks the vessel. And so the blood and the oxygen and the nutrients cannot get beyond there. And so then you have a stroke. There are also vascular malformations and tumors that can cause the same thing. but you were obviously thoroughly and appropriately worked up so that your stroke, I would imagine, was a blood vessel that got blocked off. And you are doing absolutely beyond the word fantastic. It's wonderful. And thank God it did not touch your voice. So we still
And
all can benefit from what you have to offer from that point of view.
And Dr. Davis, so as a neurosurgeon and all that, how have you had experiences like that, checking in with patients afterwards? Because I know that you were there at the critical phases, keeping these people alive, saving their lives. What is it like then after when you're, what are the struggles somebody who's had a stroke? What does that normally mean for their life? And what is it that's so impressive about Kaisa?
It's very, very difficult to be very specific, but in this case, it must have been a very small vessel because you're using your arm and you can walk. I saw you walking before, and it has to be a smaller vessel. And you were extremely lucky. And we have all sorts of problems. We had them. And in today's world, I've been out of practice now for over 20 years. I know I don't look it, but I'm almost 90 years old. And so it's been a while back and things have changed tremendously. But people then got physiotherapy, speech therapy, therapy for voice, for speaking, and all types of therapy. But as I said before, it's fantastic just to look at you and see how well you've done. How many years ago was your stroke?
6 years ago.
6 years.
Yeah.
That is, it can be considered a long time, but also an extremely short time to see how well you're doing. I've got even people now that I know, they have strokes because I know a lot of people who are a certain age, obviously, and some of them wake up from a stroke. Depends where the blood vessel is blocked. If it's here in your neck in the carotids, it's very difficult to wake up from that because it usually shuts off the blood on the right side where I'm pointing. So mainly almost the entire right hemisphere of the brain. And if you get an insult of that type, it's very hard to recover. Your speech and your voice is on, usually, if you were right-handed, it would be on the left side. And so you were fortunate that it was on the left side, did not involve your speech, except you forgot your natural language of Finnish, and but you're doing great. English is there. Your singing voice is there. All I can say,
The same any languages I speak, not easier with native tongue.
Okay.
Thank you, Sim.
Fantastic. Thank you, Dr. Davis. And thank you also, Dr. Davis, to you and all your colleagues for all taking care of all of us. We know this pandemic time has been so difficult, and it's thanks to you and all of your colleagues for keeping us healthy.
It's a challenge, like everything else in life.
So let's bring in then Mari. Mari, can you tell us a little bit about this, chime in about a stroke and how Kaisa overcame it?
Yeah, and the Kaisa stroke, I would say that it is with Kaisa, it wasn't any small vessel. Kaisa was in coma, was it 3 weeks after the stroke? So it really was, is he going to stay alive or not? So, and Kaisa has lost her speech totally. Like, I don't know, was it global aphasia or what? It was close there. So Kaisa has done so much work. And when we started to work together, Kaisa's arm didn't work at all, not in any way. and everything was very stiff.
And Mari, can you tell us so about this TED Talk? So clearly doing
Yeah.
a TED Talk you're doing a lot of talking, which has
Yeah.
was Kaisa's big problem. So tell us about that. What is this TED Talk about? And tell us more.
Yeah, the title of our TEDx speech is Rehabilitation from a Minor to a Major. And we wanted to do that because Kaisa's story is motivational for anyone who is pursuing their dreams. Kaisa's dedication for work and how Kaisa has overcome everything is something that we all should learn. And that's why we wanted to go and share our story on the TEDx event.
Thank you.
And how did they respond to it? How did the audience respond?
Our audience was standing up and clapping, and they tried to find tissues because they were crying. So if you watch that on YouTube, I recommend taking a tissue in your hand.
Fantastic. Congratulations. Congratulations for all the important work you're doing, Mari.
Thank
so
you.
Let's take a look at Kaisa's swimming after her stroke. So swimming has always been an important part of Kaisa's life. And she'll tell us, I think, a little bit about that in a second. So now we're going to take a look at her swimming after her stroke.
That's before a stroke, I think.
Okay, so Kaisa, this is tell us about a little bit about your swimming. I believe you were one of the young Finnish master swimmers, or something like that.
Maybe since childhood, I been swimming a lot. Took part in competition and like young Finnish master. And swimming is good practice for singers' lungs, making lungs stronger and more powerful.
And now you are swimming also? This is something,
Yes.
this was a recent video of you
Recent.
swimming?
Yeah, 1 year ago.
Wow, fantastic. And so you're swimming once a week or every day?
Busy life singing, but once 2 times a year and weeks.
Wow, okay, that's a lot already if you've got a full music schedule. Okay, great. So now I would like to ask if Kaisa and Maya would be willing to sing for us one more song.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Excuse me, may I ask, Kaisa, would you be able to turn on? We have a very complicated Zoom program. So in order to hear Kaisa best, she has to change the microphone setting. So it's not easy being on stage, singing on a Zoom stage. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lovely. Wow. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about that. So that's a Finnish song, and it's called, again, it is called Arn Americanto, or Summer Night. Can you tell us a little bit about that song, Kaisa, and why you chose that?
I chose that Maria.
I might be guilty of this. So it's a wonderful, a mysterious song about, it's like a view or a landscape, like a hazy summer night.
Hazy, yes.
Lovely, lovely. And Professor Moose Niels, can you tell us?
Yes, I understood. It's written by Mericanto.
Yeah.
Yes, and for people who doesn't understand our Nordic countries, we have, and Finland have, in Mericanto and many other very, very great songwriters. Of course, in Finland, we are very focused internationally on Sibelius and some newer composers. But of course, all the songs are in either Swedish or Finnish language. And of course, that makes the popularity and a little, not so universal. We have the same also in Denmark and so, but it is really, these Mericanto songs are fantastic. And it is a really also important treasure for the Finnish soul to have such a fantastic tradition.
Wonderful. Well, so brava to Kaisa, brava to Maya. So the last question of the evening then is to all of you. What does the future look like? Can we start with you, Kaisa?
Future look like. I want to be myself in opera stages. Anyway, I keep on singing and performing, also composing and songs and lyrics. My personal experiences, most traumatic ones, have shaped into the passionate and dramatic interpreter.
Well, you're well on your way to do that, and we look forward to hearing your voice again. Wonderful. And so maybe Niels, can I put it over to you? What does the future look like?
Of what?
Of the voice of your, what you're going to be up to?
What I'm going to be up to? No, of course I have my job. I have to take care of many young singers. And it is a very difficult period with this pandemic that has been all around the world. And now it seems to be easier here, of course, and many of the young singers, they have also psychological big problems that we try to overcome with holding them to work now. I also have a job as professor in Beijing. And of course, right now it's another hotspot. And I also try to find them around in the homes where they sit, often with families or alone, and try to keep them up. And it is our job for all these wonderful young people that we are there for them.
Okay, wonderful. So thank you very much to Kaisa Makkonen, to Maya Teikari, to Niels Moose, and to Mari Tinkunen.
Thank you for the
And
show.
to Jerry. And to Jerry.
And to Dr. Jerome Davis.
Yes.
Absolutely. Fantastic. So let's take a look at what is coming up next week. There it is. So next Wednesday, we have Andrea Ciucci and Claudia Laricchia. Are humans sustainable? Sustainable development? We hear about it all the time, but what does it mean? And is promoting sustainable development just another way of making us feel good about our not so benevolent residency on planet Earth? Sure, apocalyptic pronouncements are also a uniquely human phenomenon, but this one about catastrophic global warming and pandemics, all based on science, have even gotten enough attention to concern the Vatican. Father Andrea Ciucci, coordinating secretary at the Pontifical Academy for Life, is intimately involved in the Vatican's efforts to promote sustainability and will join us together with Professor Claudia Laricchia, head of institutional relations and global strategic partnerships at the Future Food Institute. They will present their new book, Pardon Me for Asking, but why are you here? Come welcome Andrea and Claudia to our show for a conversation about no less than the fate of humanity. Again, that's next Wednesday. Andrea Ciucci and Claudia Laricchia are Human Sustainable. As always, all information about upcoming shows can be found at www.simeonmoro.com. And I forgot one thing that was very important is that I need to show you how to stay in touch with Kaisa. So I'm going to first show you the TED Talk. So there it is. It is Rehabilitation from a Minor to a Major. Kaisa Makkonen and Maria Tinkunen. So I will put that in the chat box so everybody can take a look at that. That's on YouTube. Like Marie said, get a handkerchief or get a handkerchief ready. There are bound to be probably a lot of tears and a lot of inspiration. And then let's see how else we can stay. Let's see her website. There it is, kaisamakkonen.net. There it is, opera singer, composer, lyricist, and much more. As we've just learned, I have devoted my life to music, and we are very grateful for that, Kaisa. So Kaisa, people can reach out to you if they click on contact. That's okay?
Yeah.
Wonderful. There it is, Makkonen@kaisa@gmail.com. So I will put that also in the chat room so that anybody feel free to reach out to Kaisa if you want to ask her questions, hear your comments. So once again, thank you very much to Kaisa Makkonen, to Maya Tekari, Niels Moose, to Mari Tinkunen, and to Dr. Jerome Davis. Thank you very much to Agnieszka Rivole for her support of this show. Most of all, thanks to you, our participants, who make it all worthwhile. From Vienna, Austria, Savonlinna, Finland, goodbye and see you next Wednesday.
Goodbye.
Bye.